Pardon me, Eric. I'm just distracted by Justice Department to make announcements in significant law enforcement matter. Today at 12:30 Eastern.
Okay, then.
Oh, this could be a very good day, Eric. We could. How will the media portray Democrats and Biden in crisis today? I wonder. Where do we even start? Right, with whether you want to start with the New York Times Maureen Dowd piece. It is not just. Both sides do it. There's just been some total split from reality now in the mainstream media.
And I think you have to go back to last Tuesday in Virginia and just the absolute convulsion, the media convulsion that followed, a 2 or 3 point victory in New Jersey and a 2 or 3 point loss in Virginia. Yes, no one in the Democratic Party thinks that went well, but my God, you would think the Democratic Party went out of existence. You would think every leader of the House and Senate had just been arrested and taken to jail for fraud and embezzlement. I mean, you would think that was the end of the Democratic Party. And my God, just quick context. I'm sure you went over this last week, but every year when there's a new president, the first chance people get as voters is the Virginia and New Jersey governor's race. Mm-hmm. And every time there's a new president, the other party wins those seats. Yeah. This is not any. And Obama's first year, he lost New Jersey and Virginia. And I went back and looked at the coverage, and the coverage was, well, this isn't great, but it's not the end of the world. There wasn't like 27 stories in the Washington Post. So I think you got to start with that crazy convulsion, just this absolute desire to bury Joe Biden, to bury the Democrats. And then fast forward to Friday morning and the jobs report, Friday, when the bell rang to end the Dow at 4 o'clock or whatever, and then the infrastructure bill. Yeah. I just wrote a piece this morning at PressRun about this wave of good news. The press needs a new script. I don't think they're going to really adopt a new script. Yeah. But they are, as you say, they are so divorced from reality. They are so wed to this narrative. They're just bending common sense nonstop to try to tell a story they want to tell. And frankly, it's the exact same story they tried to tell during Obama's first year in office. The exact same story. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. Apparently Maureen Dowd does not get breaking news on her phone. I just write Dems in disarray. Biden and Democrats can't get anything done. Oh, they just did. Oh, never mind. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, your piece was Virginia. I really wanted, I said at the top of the show, I do want us to talk about solutions, and I don't want to be the party whining about the media in 2022 and going, oh, we lost again, and because the media, blah, blah, blah. I feel like we need to figure out what to do. As you said after Virginia, how do we have to figure, how do you counter a party that just lies and lies and lies, and the mainstream media just helps them, whether it's critical race theory in Virginia or whatever. What's your prescription, Eric?
Well, I like solutions too. I don't have a ton of them. And you touched on the problem, and I just mentioned Obama, and I keep thinking about his first and second year because it's so similar. As I said, he lost New Jersey and Virginia. 4 months later, they passed Obamacare. Yeah. His presidency did not end.
Yeah, and this point, it was 2 days later we passed infrastructure. Yeah.
And his press coverage got better. The press, they weren't able to deny reality in terms of his popularity and his achievement. So I'm optimistic that the press can change. But you hit the nail on the head, and we've talked about this in the past. What's completely changed from 2009 is a Republican Party and a conservative movement that is detached from reality. Everyone lies about everything. They're embracing QAnon cult. They're embracing conspiracies. And that makes it harder to turn the ship around because, as you said, the press is so nervous about this cult-like behavior, doesn't want to call it out and things like that. But I mean, to go to your point, I don't know. You just got to keep vigilant. You just got to keep on people. You got to keep pointing out the failures and just try to hope and pray. And I don't mean to sound fatalistic, but I think there's we've seen instances in the past where press coverage has gotten better. It's not a complete lost cause, but there's definitely a thread that runs through all this. And when they when they adopt a narrative, they really stick to it.
Well, and you make a great point, as always. This why Democrats should start panicking about 2022 was the CNN headline. And you said, Democrats, there were so many arguments, articles, Democrats misjudged the nation's mood. And you said when Republicans lost the White House last year by 7 million votes, lost Arizona, Georgia, and the U.S. Senate, I don't recall lots of pearl-clutching media commentary about how the GOP had misjudged the nation's mood. So I guess we just have to take as a given, for whatever reason, as we always talk about fear of being seen as the liberal media, they're going to way overcorrect on the side of Republicans.
And look, people email me all the time, in response to my articles or tweets or, tweet back, they miss Trump so badly. And I don't think you can deny that in any sense. I don't think they would admit to it. I think, again, the Virginia coverage to me was a hangover from the Trump years. Yeah. Just this absolute necessity that everything has to be breaking news. Everything has to be hysterical. Everything has to be the end of the world. It was 2 statewide races, and they were 2-point races. That's not really that big a deal. Yeah. Obviously, Democrats wish they won. But I think not only do they miss Trump and they miss the chaos he created and the ratings and the book deals, but they can't go back to normal. They can't be like, okay, let's put things in context. Let's do this with a dry head and a clear mind. They seem to be incapable of doing that.
Well, it's to the Maureen Dowd, like, oh, Biden's bringing chaos. It's like, no, the press is reporting it as chaos. He's not bringing. He's been the same steady hand since the beginning, and he's run on this. He's doing the same things he ran on. This hot take on whoever on Meet the Press was about, oh, it's because of the dishonesty, like Biden ran as a centrist and he's governing as a progressive. It's like, well, again, every single one of these things in all of these bills, I guess, would be considered wildly progressive. They're also wildly popular. Yeah, so I'm sick of these hot takes. We're a center-right country and he's that. Anyway, it's all nonsense.
Yeah, no, I mean, he what he is doing now is exactly what he ran on. He ran by 7 million votes. It wasn't even close. Nobody, when he was running, was saying, oh, he's in terms of the mainstream media during the general election, oh, he's so left wing, oh, he's so woke. They completely overindulged in terms of this Virginia analysis. And we won't even get into like the education coverage and stuff like that. But I mean, just a quick point, you were talking about art of the deal. I mean, what Pelosi has done, what Biden has done, Biden has now passed COVID relief with 50 votes, with 50 senators. He passed infrastructure. If he's the true Houdini, he's going to pass Build Back Better. I mean, that is just mind-boggling what he's done with 50 votes. Nothing like that has ever been attempted in American politics. Well, and what's the coverage? Just real quick, the day after infrastructure passes, New York Times with the headline, "Oh, Democrats still haggling over Build Back Better."
Oh my God.
And then if people didn't quite get the gist, the accompanying article on the front page was about how America is gloomy under Biden. I mean, you can't win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to your point, though, and the point of our whole conversation, Eric, in your piece, you said the enormous hurdle that's been erected since 2009 is the Republican Party, the larger conservative movement, now successfully traffic in uncontrollable lies, misinformation, deranged conspiracies as part of their daily diet. They do it through $1 billion media machine that doubles as a propaganda arm for the GOP. The press has shown little interest in confronting the trend. You quote someone as saying one of the strategic advantages Republicans have is they're able to feed their base propaganda and misinformation directly through their news outlets. The Democratic Party needs to figure out ways to more actively court its base voters on a regular basis. So you say the monumental challenge for us now, how to counter a party and a movement that lies about everything, a press that's not willing to stop it, and worse, a press corps that helps spread the lies during a heated campaign series. So we do need to learn from Virginia, but as you said, the campaign press toasted Youngkin for his savvy race-baiting strategy. You said that's when they weren't turning a blind eye to the Youngkin campaign and that blamed Terry McCulloch for, quote, covering up rape and assault in our schools at a time when McAuliffe held no public office in Virginia. I mean, just complete lies.
Yeah, and Youngkin also said he wasn't sure if climate change was caused by humans during the campaign. Nobody cared about that. Look, I think, I don't know. I guess it's the good news that the critical race theory really only affected one race, and Democrats can now learn from it. They didn't really know how to handle it. It's not like the Democratic Party is pro critical race theory and demands that 6-year-old. I mean, it put Democrats in a tough bind because
nobody wanted
officials,
to. Nobody on the Democratic side wanted to defund the police either. But we do have to. We do have to learn how to counter these fictional narratives.